How many people did not know the financial matrix quadrant? Didn't know this, right? You didn't know that. I mean, you just knew, well, I know some's not working, but are there really people? I mean, less than 1% of the people in the world live financially free lives. And yet everybody in here, now you can never say you didn't have the chance to live a financially free life. But it starts with admitting you don't have all the answers. Because if you did have all the answers, you'd already be there. And that was such a big point for me because I came in thinking I knew all the answers. I remember listening to speaker after speaker, like, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That one doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, I totally disagree with that. Then I finally figured out, I was the broke one, not them. And so then it started to humble me a little bit. I said, maybe they know something. Maybe there's a nugget or two of what they said that I could take. And what I would encourage you if you're new is just open up the ears, open up the mind to recognize that there might be a principle or two that you could take and apply that would change everything. And one of the first is just to recognize you don't know what you don't know. If you did know what you didn't know, I don't even know how I would say that. If you did know what you didn't know, let me just say this. Someday you will know that you didn't know. And that's the key point. So that's the first one. Recognize that you don't know everything. Number two, success can be learned. It's amazing to me how many people act like success is a lottery. I mean, if you play the lottery, there's a certain chance, and it's just math. I remember reading once, they said, the lottery is a tax for people who are poor at math. Oh, that went over really well. Some of you are like, I just played that, Woodward. But understand, the odds of winning, and it is odds, it's literally just numerical. When you're in a performance-based system, it's not an odds, it's not like you're rolling dice here. Because you can choose to increase your percentage chance of winning. One of the first things to recognize is you can learn all the principles. When you see a Rob and Kenyon, you're like, wow, they're so dynamic, they're so powerful, they're so convicted, they're so believable. Do you think they were that way the first time they ever spoke? Do you think that they came out the very first time like, wow, they have everything figured out? No, they would tell you right now they don't have everything figured out. They're in progress because they understand that success can be learned. And if they can learn it, you can learn it. That's the most beautiful thing. And you're part of a community where we're all learning together. We're actually making it cool to learn. Number 3, you are worthy of success. Oh, come on, Orrin, you don't know me. You don't know all the things I did wrong. Well, you don't know all the things I did wrong. Although Lori has told you a lot of them. You are worthy of success. Do you realize that no one in the world has ever been created exactly like you? No one in the world has your set of experiences. That you can come into this community and you can change and become a champion, and your story will do something that no other person's story in the room can do, because your story is different than everyone else. That's why I love when you hear a Chris and Terry come up there and tell their story. They relate to a certain percentage of the room. Then you get a Claude and Lana up here and they relate to a different portion of the room. Then you get a Dan and Lisa and they relate to a different. Then you get a Bill and Keisha and they relate to it. Then you get a George and Jill and they relate to a different group. Very funny group on that one. Especially when they get up here on stage together. Every person has unique experiences. And so the key is for you to come out of that crowd and get on the stage to share your story, because somebody out in the crowd is only going to be inspired by you. By you. Your story is the one. George and Jill took a long time to get things together, but their perseverance is what made it work for them. They kept getting knocked down and knocked down and knocked down. But they didn't stay down. They're up in the UP in Ironwood, so far away from civilization, there were more trees than there were people. I think George was go-getter on trees more than people the first few times. He started the process, but they never listened to the material. But you know what? His dream was big enough to make it. Your dream's got to be big enough to make it. You have to realize that you are worthy of success. Number 4, dreamers are in a minority. Man, I was talking with Rob earlier today, and he was telling me when he was a 15-year-old kid in shop class, and he was telling the teacher that he was going to become massively successful and wealthy in his own business and build a community. And the teacher said, I can tell you a list of names of people that tried that, it didn't work. And as a 15-year-old kid, you know what he said to his teacher? He said, I could give you a list of every teacher that didn't become a millionaire. Now that's pretty bold for a 15-year-old kid. I'm not teaching that as necessarily the proper answer. I'm just saying there's a little bit of swagger in that statement. I'm just saying that at some point in life, you're going to have to stand up and start defending your dream. Because the world's going to do everything in their power to knock that dream out of you. Because dreamers are in minority, it's not cool to be outside the norms today. Isn't it like, oh, everybody fit in, everybody do the same thing. You don't want to cause any waves. Listen, the dreamers of the world are the ones who move the world ahead. It's because you take a look at everything that you take a look at the lights that are shining on me right now, and it's like Thomas Edison had a dream. Because he did, we can stay in this room. It would be a little bit more difficult were there no electricity and lights. He had a dream, and it changed the way we live. The automobile, there are people working on that, engineers working on that. They had a dream, and it changed the way we live. You have a dream. You have a dream in your heart. You know you do. You didn't come here today because you didn't. You came here today because you did. That's right. You came here today to say, Orrin, Lori, Rob, Kenyon, Manasi, Lisa, whoever, Curtis, Debbie, tell me why I should chase this crazy dream in my heart. Because I got knocked here and I got kicked there, and somebody told me I was crazy. My in-laws think I'm crazy. Man, when we got started in this, Lori's brothers, Lori's mom, they thought I was nuts. And then when we made it, they thought I was an eccentric millionaire. It's the same person, just a little bit of time was the difference. You are nuts to somebody. Just as, imagine if you saw a dog running around like crazy. He's jumping over here, he's running over here, jumping over here. Man, I started getting tired. Imagine the jumping all over the place. You'd say, that dog's nuts. But if out of the corner of your eye you caught a rabbit, you saw that, he's chasing a rabbit. Now the picture makes sense. There's a lot of people, they see your action, they're like, you drove to what? You were from what? You drove to Sandy, Utah for a weekend? How many hours? To do what? Because they don't see the dream. They can't see the dream. The dream is metaphysical. It's not something we can grab a hold of, but it's in there. It's in your heart. It's real to you. But they can't see it, so all they see is like a dog. Thank you so much. They see a dog chasing around. The question is, are you going to make that dream real so they can see it? Because when you make it real at the end and they see it, all of a sudden they're like, he was chasing a dream. She was chasing a dream. I just didn't see what was going on. Number 5, criticism is normal for an achiever, just as I was saying. They don't mean it. It's like so many people take it personal. They're trying to steal my dream. You know what? A person cannot steal your dream. You can only surrender it.